G'day, Mark Berg here and welcome to Rapala Fishing News. I'm with Chris Belden from Rapala and we're going to talk about braid and which braids to choose when you go fishing. It can be a little confusing. How you going, mate?
Good yourself?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate. That's it. Okay, now, Sufix is obviously the braid that Rapala sells. It comes under the Rapala banner. Mate, tell me this, I'm a brim fisher. I've been using mono for years and I'm getting into soft plastics and I want to choose a braid. Now I look up at this board here and we've got Duraflex and True Braid and Matrix Pro and Fuse and all these different ones. It is a little confusing. Shed some light on what to choose for our viewers. Now say for example, I'm a brim fisher. Which one should I go for?
Okay, well if you're brim fishing, you're going to be doing a lot of casting. Right, so the best thing you want to get is a line that's made for casting like this Performance Fuse here. Okay, it's a fused line, which means it's Dyneema fibres that have been heat fused together. It provides a more stiffer braid than your standard one, which is sensational for casting, and it just goes through guides really well. Plus it ties a knot very well, which you're going to need for joining onto your leader material. Okay,
so this one's called the Sufix Performance Fuse. And this is good for you. Now what about how heavy? I mean, this is 30 pound, obviously we're not going to use that.
No, you're not going to use 30 pound. I mean, you want to look at sort of 4 to 8 pounds. 6 is generally your best. I mean, you can go heavier if you want, but it's not necessary.
Depends on the terrain, I guess.
Exactly, I mean, if you're fishing hard structure, you want to go something that's a bit heavier.
Okay, and that's very, very brazen resistant as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is,
Okay, all right, well, there's our brim fishing. Now, what about snapper?
Snapper? Okay, well...
Again, fishing soft plastics for snapper. It's very popular right now. What braid?
Well, you can use the Performance Fuse again, but the Matrix Pro is probably more suited because it's a slightly heavier braid, and generally when fishing snapper, you're in a deeper water than brim. And it's a bit more supple as well.
It kind of feels like it's halfway between your sort of normal sort of softer braid and the fuse.
Yeah, that's right. It's a mid-range braid, so it's not incredibly supple for sort of trolling and bottom bashing, and it's not incredibly stiff for casting. It's in between.
Okay, so before we go any further, let me ask you this. What is the major advantage in fishing with braid as opposed to mono?
Low stretch and increased sensitivity.
Yeah, you can really feel those touches.
You can feel the touches, the bites, and you can strike.
And you don't get that big bow in your line either when it's cutting through the water. Okay, that's cool. Now the last one, and we all love fishing for barramundi in this country. Again, what do you suggest?
Well, barramundi again is a casting and trolling application.
Absolutely.
You're looking at these two again, but there is a braid that Sufix have released specifically for this sort of application, I guess. It's the Performance Stretch. It's in the same range as the Performance Fuse, but this is a braid that's been manufactured with the use of Dyneema fibres and Dacron. Okay, the Dacron incorporated into this product gives you a 6% stretch, unlike most braids, which is near zero. Okay, but it's not a monofilament. You still retain the same sensitivity and action as standard braid.
And this one's called the
Performance Stretch.
Performance Stretch from Sufix as well.
Yeah, so what the increased stretch does is, with a big fish like barramundi, who are notorious for smashing and crashing lures, it gives you a little bit of give on the take. So, a common thing with barramundi is pulling hooks and things like that. It's really
bit of stretch just to give them that,
But you still retain all the sensitivity that you need.
So all the features of braid with a little added advantage of a little bit of stretch as well.
That's right. Really good for the beginner.
Now, I guess if anyone just goes into their retailer, they can simply ask them what's the best way to go. But that certainly shed some light on it for me, and I'm sure some of our viewers as well. Now, the other thing too that I wanted to talk to you about, there's this whole thing about the system with Sufix. What's that about? I mean, there's different things now. There's fluorocarbons and monos that we use for leader. What's this system you're talking about? Okay,
well, the system that Sufix have developed is it pretty much comprises of a set of instructions and just methods best suited to fishing their lines. Okay, so for every braid that they make, there is a mono or a leader or a fluorocarbon that's suited to that.
So it's actually made for that. Because one thing I find sometimes when we travel and I don't bring a leader material with me and I'm using braid, sometimes the guide will give me their mono and I'll tie the leader to the mono, the leader to the braid, and the braid will cut straight through that mono. And obviously that mono doesn't suit that braid.
That's right.
So the Sufix system actually rules that sort of stuff out and it's matched perfectly. The braid is matched perfectly to the leader that you're using.
That's correct.
So that's the Sufix system. Now one last thing I want to ask you about, and a lot of fishermen ask me about it as well, is fluorocarbon. What's the big deal about this fluorocarbon? I mean, it's been around for a while. All I know is it just looks like normal fishing monoline to me, and it's expensive.
That's right.
Why is it? What's so good about it?
Okay, well, the thing with fluorocarbon is that it's a sinking leader. I mean, it sinks up to 4 times as fast as your monofilament.
Okay.
But the biggest point with fluorocarbon is that it's pretty much 100% invisible underwater to the fish. So it's really good for a finicky fish or something that's just not taking bait. It can quite often turn a bite on.
Purely because they can't see it
Exactly.
at all.
Yep.
Wow, that's a pretty big advantage.
Plus it's highly abrasion resistant.
Abrasion resistant as well.
Yeah.
Well, mate, that has shed some light not only on the Sufix range, but certainly on what to choose when going to change over to the braid material. So thanks, mate.
No worries.
Appreciate that. That was
No
awesome.
problem.
Sufix, check it out.
That's it.